Our top story today is the OVP budget cut. I wonder if you could give us a better sense of what the discussions were like behind closed doors and how, I mean, we know how much is being taken off her budget or the proposal to take off her budget, but also, we also know that from Stella Kimbo that it was a unanimous decision. But what were the questions like? What were the discussions like?
Well, the I was following the deliberations of the Committee on Appropriations. The House members or the members of the Committee on Appropriations had questions which they would want to clarify, specifically on certain issues which they received notice, which is these are the notice of these allowances issued by the Commission on Audit. So the members of the Committee on Appropriation, as how I understand it, would want to be clarified why the Office of the Vice President was issued such disallowances. So even the sponsor of the measure in plenary, Congressman Adyong, uh, also raised some issues or reservations that he might have a hard time in defending or sponsoring and defending the budget of the Office of the Vice President, considering that the questions raised by the members of the Committee on Appropriations were not answered. So maybe when they met to give out the committee report, the the members of the Committee on Appropriation decided to go on a safe path wherein the other measures or budget for 2025 of the Office of the Vice President, particularly those which seems to be a duplication of the function of another agency like DSWD and other agencies, they just place it there. So it will be easier for the Committee on Appropriations to defend and sponsor the budget of the Office of the Vice President in plenary session.
And actually, a couple of days ago, you made headlines for saying that she may be liable for graft if she is unable to explain adequately how she spent those confidential funds in 2022. And we sat up and took notice of that because actually, this is the first time we're hearing a ranking House member drop the word graft. In the past, it was usually coming from the Makabayan bloc or the minority bloc. How serious are you viewing the situation?
Well, she has to explain it because if you look at the points raised in that issue, she has to explain on how she spent those funds. Because if you will not be able to explain, there's only one way to go. That's a draft case. So there's only one interpretation in that. So we were hoping that the vice president would be able to explain her side, and we were hoping that since she appeared during the first hearing, she would again be back the second time to explain the issues raised against her office. So, but with that, I think we will just wait on the office of the vice president or the vice president herself to explain. Unless it should not be able to explain as what a lot of House members sense that it will now be a very big problem for her because it will boil down to a draft case.
Congressman Dalipa, do you think this might set a precedent? Because I noticed that every so often during budget deliberations, these COA notices, these audit notices are often brought up. Would another department be at danger of suffering the same fate as the OVP for having some, dubious audits or not having passed audits?
Just like in any budget process that we undergo every year, the executive budget is subject to scrutiny. So each and every House member would want to see that what we appropriated previously in the previous year and what the department or agency is asking for the succeeding year is proper. And since this is taxpayers' money, And it is the job of the House of Representatives, it's our constitutional duty, it's our constitutional mandate to see and check and scrutinize the proposed budget. So it is not abnormal, but it's just but normal that when members of the House of Representatives would always bring out some of these notice of disallowances because it's part of the process, trying to check whether the funds given to a department, funds given to an agency, was used in accordance to the purpose of how it should be spent when they presented it to Congress of when they presented it to the House of Representatives on the purpose for the use of such funds. But so when House members will get notice of disallowance, they will ask. No, it's just but normal to ask why funds given to a specific agency or department were flagged down by the Commission on Audit. So was there something wrong with the procuring agency or department that such notice of disallowance was flagged by the Commission on Audit? So it's part of the normal annual routine of the budget process wherein all issues will be raised by any member, and it's a right of any member to raise any issue with particular to a agency or a department which is coming back again asking for a budget for the succeeding year.
Congressman, if the Vice President is unable to explain the notice of disallowance by the COA, does that mean that apart from filing a graft case, that an impeachment complaint might be in the offing?
Well, unless the thing she did is an impeachable offense, then it might go to that. But we'll see. I do not want to preempt anything. I do not even know of any impeachment complaint filed in the House. So we'll wait if it will boil down to that, or she'll be facing a graft charge that will be filed by no other than the Commission on Audit. So we'll wait. So I do not. I'll wait for things to develop and see by then if indeed it would
Congressman?
merit or warrant a impeachment complaint or a graft case.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves with that. Everyone we have asked from the House has said that there are no talks to impeach the Vice President. But the reason I was asking you earlier about President is because the Vice President has claimed that what's going on with her budget hearing, with her budget deliberation, is really politicizing the budget. What would you have to say with regard to that?
Well, the entire budget process is really part of a political activity because decisions will have to be made. You know, decisions have to be made whether a specific department needs more funding to help the people. So it's part of the political process. Political decisions are made every year on which departments, on which agencies would get a bigger slice of the pie compared to other agencies of the government. In fact, the political process starts when the executive department would decide on the political direction they wish for the country. So when they present the executive budget, it was based on political policies brought by the leader of the executive department or leader of this country, the president of the Philippines. So everything is, I would say, part of political decision-making process. So everything, you know, politics is present everywhere. So
Congressman,
decisions have to be made
taking a look
using
at
also political opinions of members of whether the House of Representatives or the Senate when we pass the budget.
Congressman, taking a look at the budget, the biggest slash that happened was with the financial assistance. And you explained that already. There are certain duplications with functions of other agencies. But the other items are related to the functions of her office. Isn't this tantamount to downsizing the OVP? I know they have 10 satellite offices all over the country, but how did you arrive at the numbers? 200 million, slashing it off, supplies, and 92 million from professional services. I mean, can you explain to us these items, supplies, professional services?
Well, I think the one who should, the cuts for the office of the Vice President may be explained by the members of the Committee on Appropriation when we go on plenary sponsorship and debate. Because it is them, the members of the Committee on Appropriation, whom issues were raised. Particularly, I think there were issues about how these different offices are being rented out and how some members or members of the Committee on Appropriation feel that they are not worth the rental payment. So with regards to funds which are for social services, the members of the Committee on Appropriations which I talked to say that why not give it to the department or agency in charge for social services, and the Vice President can just get funds for social services from the SWD. So we'll see. That is in the process, in our budget process. We are now just starting, so nothing is yet final. We will wait for the committee report of the Committee on Appropriation be presented on second reading, which is the General Appropriations Bill in plenary session.
Right. Okay.
So we have already made the schedule on the plenary sponsorship and debates of the 2025 proposed budget for the plenary. So we'll see how it will go on how the other members, particularly members belonging to the majority bloc or the minority bloc, will react
Yeah.
in the debates
Right.
when it comes to the proposal of the Committee on Appropriation in the cuts in the office of the Vice
Right.
President.
Okay. Congressman Dalipe, I understand you've also urged COA to submit their final report on the OVP's budget, specifically on the notices of disallowances. I wonder if have they given you a timeline? Do you know when it's going to be submitted?
I'm still waiting for the reply, but we would want to have it the soonest because we want to be guided. Like for me, example, as the head of the majority bloc, I would want to be guided and also with the members of the majority, did the Committee on Appropriations do the right thing in transferring some of the funds of the Office of the Vice President to the other departments? So did the Committee on Appropriations do the right thing by trying to adjust and presenting a different budget proposal? So that report from the Commission on Audit is very vital. It is very important to us. If the Commission on Audit will be able to present it to us at the soonest possible time, we would appreciate it very much before we render a decision
Right.
on plenary on
Right.
what to do with her budget.
Yeah, and here's hoping they're watching. Last question, Congressman. Senator Bato de la Rosa says this issue might cause some tension between the lower house and the upper house, especially when it comes to the BICAM. Is this something you're worried about?
Well, the House of Representatives and the Senate would every year come to an agreement. As always, there is a BICAM part to this because the House and the Senate would have different proposals on how to present the 2025 budget. But as always, as expected, and I am very much confident that the two chambers, the Senate of the Philippines and the House of Representatives, will eventually come to agreement and will be able to resolve any differences in the two different proposals for the 2025 budget. And as every year, the Senate and the House will come to an agreement.
Okay, and we look forward to monitoring the plenary debates as well. We're going to have to leave that there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, House Majority Leader Congressman Manix Delipe.